this fine old stately pile, right beside the River Derg, gave its name to the town of Castlederg. It was built by John Davies, a local bigwig during plantation times. Now that's all very interesting, but what we're here to find is another of his castles, downstream, Castle Curlews. Come on, Flub. Mind you, a few years ago, finding it would have been no easy task. It was so overgrown with vegetation, you could have walked past without realising there was a building there at all. Now, cleared and made safe, the castle's a fine example of the elegant architecture dating from plantation times. But is castle the right word?
Well, I think this was really a very posh house. It's practically a Renaissance building. It's got this wonderful tower that we're standing in, which had bay windows on 3 sides over 2 floors. Wonderful bay windows, only paralleled at Dunluce Castle really in Northern Ireland, but quite common feature of the architecture of the southern England at that time, and so these ideas came from there. We're pretty sure it was built sometime after 1611 because the materials were being gathered, and we know that it was occupied at least until 1654 when the civil survey was done, because it was noted as existing at that time. The building is very elegant, but in some distant time, 100 or 200 years ago, somebody must have quarried it and taken a lot of the stone away to build other things, because we only have a fragment of what was originally here.
Beautiful though it is, it's unlikely that John Davies, whose day job was Attorney General for Ireland, ever used it as anything but an occasional summer residence.
The grant of land in the first place was more or less like a favour to John Davies, so it was up to him to decide what he wanted to do with it. And he was a very important legal person. He wouldn't have wanted to live out here, so he just passed the land on. The people who got land in those days were obliged to use it, and they were obliged to build a castle and obliged to bring tenants. So as long as somebody was doing it on his behalf, he was happy.